My name is Elena. I decided to travel alone. I needed a break, just a few days away from everything. No work, no stress, no problems. Just peace. At the airport, something strange happened. A man started talking to me. He said, "Are you going to Marba too?" I said, "Yes." He smiled and said, "I have a business trip there." I said, "Oh, I'm going for vacation." That was it, a short talk. But I kept thinking about him. Why did he talk to me? Later at the hotel check-in I saw him again. He looked at me and said, "What a surprise, same hotel." I didn't answer right away. I was confused. Is this just a coincidence? He said, "Maybe we will see each other again." Why did he say that? That night I couldn't sleep. My mind was full of questions. Is he married? Why is he so friendly? Is he just nice, or is it something more? Should I stay away? The next day I saw him again. He waved and said, "Good morning, Elena." Wait, I never told him my name. How does he know my name? At that moment, I felt something strange. Something I couldn't explain. I wanted to believe it was just friendly conversation, but something didn't feel right. What was really happening? The next morning, I went to eat breakfast. He was there again. He looked at me and said, "Would you like to join me?" I said, "Okay." We talked. He told me about his work, his business trip, his long meetings. I listened. He was funny, smart, and easy to talk to. Then he said, "You have a nice smile, Elena." I didn't know what to say. Later that day he found me again. He said, "Do you want to get coffee this evening?" I said maybe. But I was thinking, why me? Why is he interested in me? That evening I said yes. We had coffee. We talked for hours. He asked me about my job, my dreams, my favorite music. He remembered everything I said. Each day, we spent more time together. One day I asked, "Do you have a family?" He looked at me and said, "It's complicated." What does that mean? Then he said, "I have a wife, but things are not good between us. We don't talk. We don't understand each other anymore." I was quiet. He continued, "I don't wear my ring. I don't feel married. I feel alone." I didn't know how to respond. Was he telling the truth, or just trying to make me feel sorry for him? He said, "With you I feel different. I feel happy again." My heart was confused. Should I believe him? Is this real, or is this a mistake? Every day, he came to find me. In the morning, he asked me to eat with him. In the afternoon, he invited me to walk and talk. At night, he sent me messages like, "I can't stop thinking about you." I started to like him, maybe too much. One night he said, "You make me feel alive again." I asked, "But what about your wife?" He looked down and said, "We sleep in different rooms. We don't talk. We are like strangers." I asked, "Why don't you leave her?" He said, "Because of my daughter. She's only 7. I don't want to hurt her." That answer made sense, but something still felt wrong. I asked him again, "Are you sure you are not happy with her?" He said, "I'm sure. With you I feel peace." I wanted to believe him. He never called his wife. He never mentioned her. He acted like he was free. I started to feel special. I thought maybe this is the beginning of something real. But one thing bothered me. He never showed me his phone. He never said his wife's name. He said her or she, never her name. Why? One afternoon we sat at a cafe. He looked serious. He said, "Elenina, I think I'm falling in love with you." I didn't answer. My heart felt warm, but also scared. I asked, "Are you sure this is right?" He said, "I know it's not perfect. But nothing in my life is perfect, except you." Later that night I couldn't sleep. I thought, is this real? Am I helping him? Or am I hurting someone else? The next day, I asked the front desk for help with something. Then I heard something surprising. The woman said, "Oh, your husband already asked about that this morning." I said, "What? My husband?" She said, "Yes, Mr. Rodriguez, room 304. I froze. Rodriguez, that's his last name. Why did she think we were married? I went outside. I wanted to think. I wanted answers. Then something happened that changed everything. I saw him. But he was not alone. He was with a woman. They walked together. They laughed. She touched his arm. And then he kissed her on the cheek. They looked happy. I felt cold inside. He told me they didn't talk. He told me they lived like strangers. He told me he was not happy. But now, they looked like a happy couple. I stood there thinking, is everything he told me a lie? Did he plan this from the beginning? What do I do now? I didn't speak to him that night. I stayed in my room. I didn't answer his messages. He wrote, "Where are you?" He wrote again, "I miss you. Are you okay?" But I didn't reply. I wanted to know the truth. The next morning, I went down early. I waited. And then I saw him. He was alone. He smiled and said, "I was worried. I didn't see you yesterday." I said, "I saw you yesterday." His face changed. He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I saw you with your wife. You looked happy." He paused, then he said, "Oh, that wasn't what it looked like." I asked, "So what was it?" He said, "We were just talking for our daughter." I said, "You kissed her." He said, "On the cheek. That doesn't mean anything." I looked at him. He said, "We're just pretending. We act like we are okay, but we are not." I asked, "Why are you in the same hotel?" He said, "She wanted to come." I didn't know until the last minute. I asked, "So she's here, and you're with me?" He said, "I told you, I'm not happy with her." I said, "But you didn't tell me she was here." He said, "I didn't want to ruin what we had." What we had? What did we have? Was it love or just a game? I asked, "Does she know about me?" He looked away. He said, "No, she doesn't. And I want to keep it that way." In that moment, everything became clear. He wasn't planning to leave her. He wasn't honest with me. He wanted both. He said, "Elena, don't be upset. This is special." I said, "Special? You call this special?" He said, "I'm serious. I care about you." I said, "Then why are you lying to your wife?" He didn't answer. I felt something break inside me. He said, "Please, don't walk away." I looked at him, and I thought, if he lies to her, he can lie to me too. That same day, I wanted to leave the hotel. I started packing my things. Then I got a message from him. He said, "Please meet me. Just one more time." I didn't want to, but I also wanted answers. So I said, "Okay. One last time." We met in the small cafe near the lobby. He looked calm. He said, "Thank you for coming." I didn't say anything. Then he said something new. He said, "There's something I didn't tell you." I looked at him. He said, "My wife, she knows about you." I was shocked. I said, "She knows?" He said, "Yes. She saw my phone. She read my messages." I said, "What did she say?" He said, "She wants a divorce." I stayed quiet. Then he smiled. He said, "Now we can be together." I froze. "What?" I asked. "You think I want that now?" He said, "Yes. Isn't that what you wanted?" I said, "No. I wanted honesty. I wanted respect. I didn't want to break a family." He said, "It was already broken." I asked, "Then why did you lie to her?" He said, "Because I was scared." I asked, "And now?" He said, "Now I'm free." But I didn't feel happy. I felt sad. I felt used. Then he said, "Let's go somewhere new. Just you and me." Another twist. Another surprise. I said, "You want to escape again?" He said, "I want to start fresh. A new life." I looked at him and asked, "And when you get tired of me, will you do the same to another woman?" He didn't speak. I said, "You didn't choose me, you ran from her." He said, "That's not true." I said, "Maybe not. But it feels true." He looked at me and said, "So what now?" I didn't answer. I just stood up and walked away. But then another twist. That night, I got a message from her. His wife. She wrote, "I know who you are. I know what happened. He did this before. You are not the first." I felt my heart drop. Not the first. How many others? Was everything a lie? I read her message again and again. "You are not the first." I didn't reply. There was nothing to say. I wanted to cry, but I didn't. I just sat and thought. He lied to me. He lied to her. And maybe, he lied to himself. The next morning, I checked out of the hotel. I wanted to leave that place. I wanted to leave that story. At the front desk, they gave me a note. It was from him. It said, "Elena, I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt you. I don't know why I do these things. Please don't hate me. I didn't feel hate. I felt empty. Later at the airport, I saw him one last time. He looked at me. I looked at him. No words. Just silence. I got on my plane. As the plane moved, I closed my eyes. I thought about everything. The beginning felt like a movie, a man, a smile, a chance meeting. But now I know something important. Not every sweet word is true. Not every story is love. And not every person is ready to love. I was looking for peace. He was looking for escape. I don't blame him completely. But I don't excuse him either. He made choices. So did I. But now I choose something else. I choose truth. I choose respect. I choose to walk away from what hurts, even when it feels good. Because real love is not a secret. Real love is not a lie. Real love doesn't need to hide. I will remember him. Not with hate, not with love, just as a lesson. I don't need answers from him anymore. I already found my answer. Some people are not looking for love. They are looking for attention. And I deserve more. Sometimes people come into your life like a dream. They say the right words. They make you feel special. They make you believe it is love. But love is not just words. Love is not a secret. Love is not something that hurts someone else. Now I understand something important. If someone is not honest with others, they will not be honest with you. If someone is not free, they cannot give you real love. I made a choice. I chose myself. I chose peace. I chose to walk away. And that choice was the right one. So if you are ever in this situation, ask yourself, is this love? Or is this just a lie with nice words? Because you deserve more. We all do.